7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
I'm running the light. It's just now 7.
8 o'clock Eastern.
So first of all, silence my phone. Got that. We'll call tonight's meeting to order. Mandy, would you take a roll call, please?
Raymond Fonzo,
Present.
Lloyd Luttrell,
Present.
Tony Gaylor,
Yes.
Kent Miller,
Present.
Matt Audie. Here. Lee McMillan,
Present.
Andrew Graybon.
Present.
Thank you. If you'll stand with me for the invocation of the Pledge of Allegiance. Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight and thank you for all the blessings you've bestowed on our community. Be with us this evening as we conduct the business for our community. Be with our military as they're protecting us around the world. Be with our law enforcement as they try to protect us and our local community. In your name we pray. Amen. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Raymond, do you have anything this evening?
No, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Tony? You always do.
I'd just like to congratulate the city. They did a great job on Court Street. It looks beautiful. It rides nice and smooth and makes you really not miss the old road.
They definitely did a good job, and it would have been completed a lot sooner, but Mother Nature kind of took control. They did a great job. Boy.
I'll second that, and I want to thank the Parks and Rec Department.
Thank you. Yeah. Again, I don't have anything, Lee.
No, sir.
I see your company was in the paper this week.
That was a good thing.
On the way to a million.
And it was positive. Sometimes it's not good to be a paper.
Yeah, that's right. We won't talk about that. But, Katie, do you have anything?
No, not tonight, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Ravy?
Yes. Kind of the first thing, and I looks like it must have come across black and white in your packet, and I apologize if it did, but here is kind of that sales tax I like to punch out every few months where you can kind of see the color and for the black and white view, but you can kind of see this is just kind of a, obviously we fund the sales or the pool bond with part of this. I think it's a third of a penny if I remember right, and then the rest goes into that CIP. So it's important from that aspect, but it's also kind of a we're concerned. We all live here, work here, kind of say, hey, well, how's the economy doing a little bit? Kind of an indicator for that. So as you can see, 2015, which would probably bear fruit a little bit. That was kind of the high point. The area was just probably starting to feel the effects of the farming slowdown and downturn. But 16, and then what we're at 17, and I apologize for this again, but this one's probably the most useful really in what we're doing. It's all great. Okay, so I know that this line right here, as you can see, the second one down is 2016, and you see that paper floating around. The blue for this month, May, finally kind of crossed right back at me. We're within like a grade or two of tracking right with 16. In fact, I think at one point we were even a little bit ahead. So I guess to summarize that, and again, you're seeing it in color there, but 17 basically tracking right with 16. So again, we don't really see any uptick yet, but we're also not really seeing any pullback at this point, any worse than what has already happened. So I guess that's just kind of an interesting tidbit, a little bit of an indicator there for you as we keep marching along. And that was in black and white there. So that would be that part of it. Any questions on the sales tax thing? And again, like I said, it's the KDHE. So again, I updated the last meeting that we were waiting on our January 7th or 17th response on the first prong of what we're looking at trying to do. Obviously, we're after meeting with KDG and EPA the last 2 months, trying to get that all set aside and how we're attacking that order of that consent order. Really have said, hey, it's a two-prong approach. And so the one prong is getting the compliance issue taken care of, and that's what the state is most interested in as well. They gave us about 6 pages of comments back. Quite a few of them, we feel confident that, there's again some minor adjustments that can be done in that response. When we were at that first meeting, if you remember me relaying the last time, and Tom and Katie were there, we kind of got them to commit to meeting us in person if it's more than just a punctuation issue to get it wrapped up. If it's more of a, hey, we need to kind of sit down and make sure that we can knock this out with one more submission. And so they have granted us that meeting here on June 30th. So Stuart, myself, and John will be going over there, and Jim, Vince. We're going to be taking the plant schematic, just some of those things that are just, every plant's different and unique. So I think that there's about six of the conditions that they're kind of hung up on. They don't really give us a clear, this is what we want. It's more like, lots of writing about it, and we'll note this, or we'll note the request, or whatever. We really need a definitive response so we know exactly how we're going to treat something, where we're going to put the ammonia at, or how we're going to mix the chlorine, or all those different things. So John actually feels really good about this. Actually, even though there's a lot of comments back, there's a lot of meat on these bones this time. It's not so much the grammatical and the formatting stuff. It's actual kind of meat and potatoes type things. So he feels like we're in a lot better position. He's got most of those answers. We'll go through all those questions, but then about the 5 or 6 are a little bit more theoretical or not real definitive. We'll hopefully be able to nail Dan, and Dan's going to be there. That's the magical engineer that we've been getting stuff back, the only one there, to get him nailed down on that. The other thing that John is working on is getting that second problem. Now we've kind of got EPA, KDHE put to bed, at least to where we just got to work through the process. He's working on the preliminary engineering report, and again, as you remember, just about December, January when we finished up the water treatment pilot study. And so what we've been waiting on from the state is a waste stream summary review. We hope this meeting to kind of nail them down on exactly what we're looking at, because that's a key component of what we're going to do with the waste stream that comes off of any sort of refurbished plants or new plants or whatever. It's going to really dictate costs. If it's as simple as putting it right back in the river, that's obviously really cheap, or putting it through our existing sewer system, no big deal. But if it's deep well injection or something a lot more expensive and technical, that's going to change obviously the scope and the cost of the project. So we're going to kind of hopefully get a little bit of a feel from him there, because that's kind of the piece that John has been waiting for to finish up that report. And so we hope to nail him down with that. If not, we're going to use some pretty good assumptions of what kind of we've seen at other plants to kind of finish that report out, just so we have something for us to start considering, because again, we want to be in a place where we can pull that trigger. So so the June 30th meeting, we'll kind of get that squared away too, since we've got them in the room at that point. Again, they were kind of held hostage on that until we got this other part done, but I think we need to relay to them that we still want to keep this rolling. And so then on August 1st, I think that's our first meeting in August, John will take that information from that meeting. Our August 1st meeting is when he will have kind of a preliminary rough plan of probably about 3 to 4 different options that we can look at, just kind of covering that cost spectrum, and also viability, lifespan, kind of those different things, so that we can see what 1 or 2 we may want to narrow it down to as far as something to pursue further. So so there is some movement on that, especially now that he's kind of been able to shift focus back away from that first problem. So I look again. It may seem frustrating, I am frustrated with that part of it, but on the flip side, I'm glad that we are able to go meet with KDHE in person. I don't think that really happens a whole lot, and so hopefully we will be able to get it squared away and feel like a broken whatever with that. Broken record. So the third part there, the City of Beloit website. So we did have our kickoff meeting with them. And we're in the process, again, I kind of want to put this out there so everybody can hear it too, is we're looking at getting pictures from folks. So if you have, yourself or people you know that love taking great photographs or have taken great photographs, we need lots of them for our website. They just need to be at least 1 megabyte digital. So some decent photographs of the town or the community or festivals or streetscapes, whatever. And just send them to any of us, but Mandy's kind of the one that we've been wanting those sent to. So again, the go live date for the website looks like it's going to be February 1st. So that's kind of what we're shooting for on that. I think it'll be viable, but again, the the big thing we need from folks is just photographs for that, for the new website. The Court Street closeout, so again, I put that in your packet, so you guys can see that. I don't know if there's any questions on there, but again, it's just a kind of a good, congratulations to Mike and his crew for estimating the concrete and what it's gonna take to get that done. We came under budget with that, about $3,000. So instead of $39,000, came in about $36,000. And took them about 30 working days as opposed to 40. So even with the rain days scattered in there, there's quite a few of them, they still got it done pretty efficiently. Electric's not quite done. They got 2 light posts to put back in there. But then we'll have some final numbers on them to make sure that they were estimating pretty accurately as well. So I think it was a successful project. East Main, if you've been up there today, we got a lot of intersections getting poured. You got the big machine out there, if you saw it driving down there. So last I heard, again, without hopefully the big rainstorm coming in here, Wednesday and Thursday, they're gonna do the pours. They have to do it 2 different days because it's so much concrete that it's gonna be tough to get that all done in one pour. But again, hopefully all the machines are here, so I saw them all up there today. So Wednesday and Thursday, they should get that done, and then hopefully get right on to the next part. So. As far as timing of that, I don't know. I forgot to ask Haley how far behind they are, but at least they're making good headway right now.
Jason, you mentioned in your report that they may be working late or early.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea how early or how late?
Yeah, I said something to Sharon too, and that basically they would probably start at about 7 or a little before 7, so not super early. But the late side would probably be, 9:30, 10, they might be up there sawing, because the biggest issue they've got is that concrete, they kind of got to saw it in a certain time frame. And they can kind of, they won't be able, especially on the curb, when they go back in there to do the curb, they won't be able to do that for as long of a period, because they don't want to get too far ahead of themselves. Now they have a bigger window for sawing, then they can pour more at one time, okay, so we've kind of been
I don't
keeping them.
think people will be that.
I don't think anybody's gonna.
That's kind of, yeah, I kind of got the thumbs on them here at the beginning of the project, but I kind of felt the same way, and I let the paper know, so I try to get the word out. I figured it's probably maybe worth a few grumblings to keep them either caught up or get on schedule, so. Then especially with the sun being up that late anyway. Yeah. Downtown drainage, so again, this is just more for your information. Again, we're looking at, actually the CIP kind of staggered and the list of other, downtown blocks or 2 blocks that our crews can continue to tackle. Again, they do a lot of other things throughout the year, whether it's chip seal, whatever, and then we do the big pours up and we call in some of the other crews, so we don't have to, you just rely on their manpower. So we did go up and down that big drainage pipe. A couple of us did, and kind of measure it out, look and see where the issues are and get it mapped out so we knew exactly where the pipe was and really get it documented. I know John Cachette has been up there, some different city guys have been up there doing a few little repairs, but we've never really gone up and photographed a lot of it or measured it so we know exactly where it's at. And so myself and a couple of street guys went up there and played sewer rat one day, so that's down under. And this thing's probably about 48 inches, 54 inches in diameter under there, so it's not bad, not real spacious, but it's kind of a fun walk. You can see where they have done some repairs. So this stuff right here is kind of a corrugated, and this is probably going up towards Court Street and some of that area, so that's probably what's going to have to be replaced at some point because the bottom has rusted out. They put some concrete to kind of patch it, but it's kind of hanging 4 or 5 inches up in the air and some of that. This was kind of hard to photograph, but you can see this part is the corrugated here, and there's a big hole all the way over to here. It looks like it was a mortar shot went through it. Okay, so this probably is right where right past down there's parking lot going towards Court Street, right up in that big embankment. Okay, going up in there. And so according to, in fact, I think it was maybe your dad that had fixed it way back or something, was kind of, that was the thought process back in the day. And they short stuff up because you got the power plant up there and that stuff. So it's a big failure point right there, and then there's some big steel plates. That's what this stuff is here, some big steel plates that are kind of holding that back. But it's probably a 10-foot, 7-8 foot hole, in diameter. So probably that's about, before this is where it's not too bad. It's kind of a plastic pipe that you can see where a lot of water is seeped through there, and it's really rusted out all the way up and around here. So pretty pretty interesting stuff there. This is some heavy duty bolted, corrugated, a little bit of rust in the bottom, but really not bad shape at all. It's really good shape actually. Then further up, this is probably towards the old bank or dance studio, what it is now. This is concrete and goes for about 200 feet. That's in good shape, maybe a little bit of ceiling. And then this is up towards New Life Church, where again, it's kind of some asphalt covered, or not asphalt, but tar covered stuff. It needs a little bit of help. And then, yeah, so, and that's basically once you get to New Life Church, that's about 3 foot tall. I didn't walk up that, but, so, all in all, there was really no major imminent failures in there, so that was good news. But once we kind of get that mapped out, overlaid where like Court Street is, kind of where all those drainage boxes are there by Bedkers and Plum Creek and all that stuff, we kind of figure out, hey, is that the bad section where we were at, or is it further up or further down? And that way we kind of know, because if it's kind of the part that I thought it would be, then it's probably going to need some help here while we're doing that project. But it was still a good exercise, because I don't think we've really ever had just a document we can keep forever to kind of know, hey, where's the good stuff, where's the bad stuff at. So, but yeah, there was no, the nice thing was, reiterate, there was no, you kind of heard the story that, oh,